It's a place where grieving children can find a warm and welcoming place to begin to heal after the death of a loved one. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the program director of Eles Place, Sarah Rockstad. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
How long has Eles Place been around and sort of how did it come to be?
Eles Place was started in 1991 and it was a very grassroots process. Basically, Ellie's mother, Betsy Stover, was looking for support for her children after her youngest daughter, Ellie, had died at 11 months of age. And so she came together with others in the community and with the support of the Junior League, they wrote a business plan and formed a nonprofit organization, recruited volunteers, and it just grew from there.
So now 23 years later, you're not just in Lansing, but you also have locations in Ann Arbor and
Grand
Rapids. So, and I know there's plans to expand as well. And do what? Provide grief counseling specifically to children and teens?
We provide support for grieving children and their families, age 3 to 18. So we don't offer individual counseling or therapy. We offer support groups for the children and teens and for their parents or guardians.
So what would the typical, services look like? Would they come to a physical building that you provide and gather with other folks? Do they actually stay? Are there kids who stay overnight, or what does that whole process look like?
It's a once a week support group that lasts for an hour, so it's just one evening a week. We have, in Lansing, we have our own building. Our Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids locations use space in a church, which is how Lansing started too, before we grew. So the families come one evening a week, and they meet in age-appropriate groups and parent groups facilitated by trained volunteers with professional staff supervision. And we provide structured support groups to help the children and teens connect with other kids who are also grieving and be able to express their feelings and learn coping skills.
How important is that for children and teens to be provided with that type of an outlet?
It's very important. I think children and teens are often forgotten grievers. Really, in our culture, there's not a lot of support for adult grievers either. But for children and teens, they don't always know how to express their feelings. Their grief reactions often will come out through their behavior. So often they're kind of lost, and my experience has been that children and teens want to talk about their grief. They want to talk about the person who died. They just don't have the opportunity or feel that it's okay to do that. So we have learned that when children and teens are not supported, they're at greater risk for having difficulties in school, potentially having drug or alcohol problems, depression, some negative consequences for those children.
So if somebody's listening to this today and they think they might know someone who can benefit, who would be a typical perfect person to take advantage of this? And then are there costs and other things involved that might, they might think are standing in the way?
Our services are all free of charge, so there's no insurance, no payment. The families that come to us have children between the ages of 3 and 18, and they have experienced the death of someone important to them. It doesn't have to be an immediate family member. Quite often it's a parent or a sibling. It could be a grandparent or an aunt or uncle or someone close to them.
All right, so they should look you up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
For more information on today's topic, if you'd like to get in touch with Eles Place, you can visit elesplace.org. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Sarah Rockstad, the program director of Eles Place.